What's up, everybody? It's your boy James Craze Billings. Here's another edition to The Hard Truth. And what I'm going to talk about on today's topic is contracts and people and how they are parallel. So let me break down the contract first. So usually in contracts, and the reason why I want to talk about contracts, I always hear people talking about how they got a bad deal in a contract. And I have to say to myself, well, if you got the contract and you signed it, how is it a bad deal? The devil is in the details. That's what it is. The devil is in the details. So let me break down the contract for you. The contract has a date. It has who's doing the business with each other, and it has the terms. And in those terms, there are details, and it gives you an overview or outlook on what the business transaction or what business you're going to get yourself into. A lot of times there's money involved, there's some kind of compensation or some kind of monetary value that you will get in a contract. So what mystifies people or what gets people's attention mostly is what they can get from this agreement that they're getting ready to sign or that they're looking over. And like I said, everything in the terms should be an overview of what you're getting. But a lot of times people don't pay attention because what they're more concerned about is the monetary value. Now let's take people, for instance. When you're dealing with people, it's very much like a contract. Who they are is a representation. They show you a representation. That representation is like the terms. What they agree to provide and bring to the table to you, whether it's a relationship. Let's just use it in the relationship terms. You know, you meet somebody, y'all go over what y'all like and what you don't like, and what brings y'all together and makes y'all compatible. Those are the terms of your contract. So she says this, he says that, he says this, she says that. Sounds good. What usually happens in the time of you getting to know somebody and building the relationship, same thing like a contract. A contract has terms and it has duration, a time that the relationship in that business starts. Same thing with a relationship. You have a day that y'all say, okay, today we official. It's going to be me and you. We're going to work on this thing. The devil is in the details of people as well. Because people can tell you who they are. But if you pay attention as they show you who they are, you're going to get a better sense of what you're getting yourself into. What they talk is the terms. The actions are the actual details in who you're dealing with. You might want to have a relationship with this person, but in the midst of you getting to know them, you start realizing and seeing these red flags in their character. Sometimes we overlook them because we so much want to be in that situation. We so much want to have that contract because part of having that contract is getting to that monetary value. Part of having that relationship is getting to that value. That might be you just don't want to be alone. You want to be in a relationship with somebody. You really like this person, but you overlook the red flags. So later on, when you get to the point where you realize that this verbal contract, which we call a relationship, is not working for you, a lot of it was in the details that you saw, things that you was in denial about, things that you overlooked based off of I have a contract and I'm in this relationship and the end goal is us to be together. But now you're not happy. And you're not happy because what you've been seeing doesn't match up with the words in the contract. The actions of the person ain't matching up with the words. You see what I'm saying? It's just like the contract. The words say one thing, what's actually happening is something totally different. And that's all because you didn't pay attention to detail. Once you don't pay attention to detail, you can't say, I got a bad deal. Because everything was laid out in front of you. And what you did was overlook it. What you did was deny the red flags. What you did wasn't look at it with a fine-tooth comb and say what works and doesn't work. This is how people get beat in business with contracts, because they get caught up in the idea of the monetary value. That's what they do. They say, shit, if I'm gonna get $2 million, I'm gonna take that. But it's all kinds of terms and different, things in the contract that can be worded a certain way that will prevent you from getting all that $2 million, or prevent you from doing other things that you want to do in life because you signed this contract. It's the same thing with people. People make these verbal contracts with each other that they're supposed to uphold. And then you see the person that sat down and told you they was going to do this and do that don't follow the words that were spoken. Their actions are totally different. And you so caught up wanting to be in this contract with this person is that we willing to overlook the details and the red flags and the things that we should have been paying attention to fully understand what we was getting ourselves into, because we want the end result. And whatever that end result is, was a relationship, a marriage, don't want to be alone. I needed that $2 million, it'll get me out of the hood. I could take care of my mother. I could, make sure my kids are good. The bottom line is this: the decisions that we make, we have to be accountable for them. We can't cry foul at the end of it all when we had the opportunity to pay attention to what was in front of us. But we got caught up in what could be, what would be. So when you're dealing with somebody, it's like having a contract. Pay attention to the details. Don't get caught up in what you want it to be. Look at it for what it is. I thank y'all for watching. Make sure you're tuning in every Sunday night at 7 p.m. on YouTube and Facebook Live, The Conversation with James Billings and Friends. I appreciate you. I love you. Good night.